Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Ben Olson, that's Nathan Fox. We're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We have an email here from LJ. The subject is, should I answer questions as if I don't have outside knowledge?
No, but let's see. Very often on the LSAT, I feel like my outside knowledge on subject matter is causing me to eliminate the correct answer and choose a different answer instead. For example, on test 141, RC1, question 7, I almost answered E, the correct answer, but my outside knowledge of medicine tells me that an antibacterial being effective at treating something in no way indicates that the cause of something is bacterial, parentheses. An obvious example of this would be antibiotics are effective at reversing the short-term symptoms of a virus-caused infection, but not because the infection is secretly bacterial, which is why they often get inappropriately prescribed. So last minute, I eliminated that answer and went with A. Obviously, I can work on the other side of this. I'm still messing up by choosing the wrong answer. But it seems like the only way for me to stop eliminating the right answer is to pretend I don't have outside knowledge that I do have. The bulk of my wrong answers are from this. Any advice?
Yeah, your outside knowledge is actually a superpower. So what it does is as you're reading the passage, you can look at what's being said and process what's being said because you have this outside knowledge much more easily than someone who doesn't have that outside knowledge. But you do have to keep in mind, okay, what has the passage explicitly said on this subject? That is the authority I'm going to look to. And if the passage doesn't discuss it, then no, you can't use that information, but you would certainly be aware of the issue in a way that other people wouldn't. But you're definitely not going to use that information to answer or justify a question. You use that information to understand the passage and what was said.
You know, I just wanted to make sure that our correspondent understands. LJ, you do have to answer the question that was asked. So the question that you're asking about here, the question said, which one of the following, if true, would most undermine the claim that prions cause CJD? And so what you have to do here, it's not like you forget about all of your outside knowledge. Your outside knowledge can certainly help you to interpret the passage. It can help you to interpret answer choices. You know, you can't shut that stuff off, nor should you. You're allowed to have outside knowledge. There's nothing in the instructions of the LSAT that say you're not allowed to have outside knowledge. But to answer the question that was asked here, you would have to go look at the claim that prions cause CJD. Like, who are the people who are making this claim? Why do they believe in this claim? And then you have to pick an answer that, if it were true, would undermine the claim that they're actually making.
Yeah.
See, they're just not testing you on your knowledge.
They're not saying which claim is true in the real world. And by the way, if it were true, that's what you answered that first question. You're like, oh, well, this can't be correct because it's not true in the real world based on my understanding of the real world, which, by the way, could be wrong.
Oh, for sure. And anyway, they're asking you a very specific question here. You know, who is making the claim that prions cause CJD? Then not which one of these is true and undermines that claim. It's which one, if it were true, would undermine that claim. So you have to you know, like, again, you can use your outside knowledge to help you to interpret things, to help you to understand things, even to help predict what the author is going to say next, which is a key skill in reading comprehension, to try to see a little bit farther down the road.
Yep.
But you have to answer the question that they actually asked you here. And they're telling you that if one of these 5 is correct, it's going to undermine the claim that was made as described in that passage. So you've got to be willing to, like, play that game, which does sometimes entail suspending disbelief. I just had yesterday a logical reasoning question in my class that started off with some premises that just didn't seem to make sense. But you have to be able to roll with it, right? You have to be able to accept, oh, okay, so if that were true, like it was something like if the committee approves, then there has to be funding. Funding has to already be secured, something like that. And it was like, well, why? Why can't the committee approve this without the funding?
Yeah.
Well, why? Yeah, okay, I know in real life, like maybe committees don't normally operate like that, but this one does. And so you've got to be able to like accept that they're testing you on your reading, not testing you on that outside knowledge.
Here's one more example to try to make this even clearer. The question here says, which one of the following, if true, would most undermine the claim that pyrons cause CJD? If the correct answer said Santa Claus is the only cause of CJD.
Right. And you'd be like, Santa Claus? What? No, that's a fictional blah, blah, blah. Right. Sorry if you've got little kids listening. No, Santa's totally real. Exactly. If it were true that Santa is the only cause of CJD, then that would destroy the claim that anything else causes CJD.
Yeah.
So you can't use your outside knowledge of the non-existence of Santa Claus to undermine that answer. Because then you're just, again, not answering the question that they actually asked you.
Yeah.
Many, many mistakes on the LSAT are going to cause from simple misreadings. And one of the things that people misread all the time is the actual question that's being asked. Wrap it up there?
Yeah. Email daily at lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or Law School admissions news. Thanks for listening.